Hey guys, I hope all is well. Thank you for joining me for this Truth Talk episode. In today's episode, we'll be talking about the skull and bones. But before we begin, I just wanted to remind you guys that if you'd like to further support the channel, join the Truth Movement. I have launched the Truth Movement to help raise money for Truth Records. By becoming a Truth Movement member, you get early access to new videos the moment I'm done making them. That means no more waiting until 1 p.m. And you also get a few other cool perks. So if you'd like to help with the funding of Truth Records and get early access to upcoming videos, join the Truth Movement. The link would be in the description. Now, let's get right into it. According to the Constitution of the United States, anybody over the age of 35 years old who is a natural-born citizen of the United States and have lived at least 14 years in the United States can be president. But is this really true? If we listen to what the Constitution is stating, just about anybody can become president of this country with very few limitations. The thing is, historically we have seen the opposite. Evidence seems to show that not only have our presidents been a part of high society, but they all seem to be connected to each other in one way or another. What if I told you that just about every president is related to each other? A while back, a 12-year-old girl discovered something that I found very interesting. Her and her grandfather discovered that all US presidents, except for one, were related and traced back to the King John of England, who ruled England from the year 1199 to the year 1216.
School Watch tonight, the story of a 7th grader from Salinas who claims to have made a major discovery about President Obama. She and her grandfather say that President Obama is related to all but one U.S. president.
Well, Dan, the youngster spent the summer, really all summer, tracing the family tree of our presidents. Her conclusion that all the presidents, with the exception of one, share the same grandfather.
Well, first we start off with George Washington at the top, and then it goes to John Adams, Thomas Jefferson.
11-year-old.
It is believed King John of England was secretly associated with the Knights Templar. The Knights Templar was a Catholic military order that was made up of men from high society, basically the elite of those times. Even though the Knights of Templar was supposed to be Catholic, it is believed they secretly worshipped Baphomet and were actually satanic. The Knights Templar would eventually be forced to end, with many of the members being taken out. It is believed some members survived and eventually created the Freemasons we know today. Interesting enough, not only are almost all presidents related to King John of England, but it's also believed that all presidents were Freemason. Our first president, George Washington, was an open Freemason. There's a total of 14 presidents who were open with their Masonic association, but I can confidently say all presidents are Masonic puppets. As we can see, not just any citizen over the age of 35 can become president of the United States. The presidents and all big politicians who are in power all belong to an exclusive club and are connected either by blood, dating back to England royalty, or a secret brotherhood. I believe our country leaders are chosen well in advance before they even decide to run. These future presidents and politicians are chosen by bloodline early on and molded exactly into the person they need to be to play their future roles in government. This is exactly what the Skull and Bones is, an organization full of college students who are soon to be the next class of elite. The Skull and Bones, otherwise known as the Brotherhood of Death, was founded in 1832 by two men, William Russell and Alphonso Taft, the father of President William Howard Taft, who was also a Skull and Bonesman. The order was exclusively for students who attended Yale University. Those who ran the order would pick a day in spring they called Tap Day, where they chose 15 new members of the junior class by tapping them on the shoulder. The Skull and Bones picked the most rich and influential people who they viewed as campus leaders to be their new members. Basically, they chose the next class of elite who would go on to have positions of power later in their lives. Many people think the Freemason and Skull and Bones are not connected, but this isn't true. Alphonso Taft, one of the creators of the Skull and Bones, was a member of the Freemasons and came from a family of Freemasons. Alphonso Taft used his ritual knowledge he learned to create the Skull and Bones organization. I believe many of the organization rituals are inspired by Masonic rituals. It seems that all of the members go on to become rich and powerful people who work in politics or become ultra-rich businessmen, with even 3 of the members going as far as becoming president. The first person to become a Skull and Bonesman that went on to become a president was William Howard Taft. Then there was George Bush Sr. and George Bush Jr. Something I found interesting while researching the Skull and Bones was in the 2004 presidential run between George Bush and John Kerry, it was discovered that Bush and Kerry both just so happened to be members of the Skull and Bones.
Skull and Bones, the secret society.
It's so secret we can't talk about it.
What does that mean for America? The conspiracy theorists are going to go
I'm
wild.
sure they are. I don't know. I haven't seen the web.
322?
First of all, he's not the nominee.
Are you prepared to lose?
No, I'm not going to lose.
You both were members of Skull and Bones, a secret society at Yale. What does that tell us?
Not much, because it's a secret.
Is there a secret handshake? Is there a secret code?
I wish there were something secret I could manifest.
322, a secret number?
There are all kinds of secrets, Tim, but one thing is not a secret.
Another Skull and Bonesman was Stephen Mnuchin, who was the former United States Secretary of Treasury. Another member was John Kerry, who ran for president and was a former Secretary of State and senator. Another member was Austin Gosby, who was part of Barack Obama's cabinet, who was the chairman of Obama's Council of Economic Advisors. Even Obama is related by blood to King John of England. Another very important member was Stephen A. Schwarzman, who was the founder of the Blackstone investment firm, the most powerful investment firm in the United States. The Blackstone company is worth billions, so it is no surprise that the company's owner, Stephen, would play a part in Donald Trump's campaign. Stephen even went as far as donating millions to Donald Trump. Harold Stanley is another Skull and Bones member who created an ultra-successful business company, Morgan Stanley, which again is worth billions. It is no coincidence that two of the most rich and powerful companies in the world were started by Skull and Bonesmen. Another huge company started by a member of the Skull and Bones was FedEx, which was created by Frederick W. Smith. Some of the richest and most powerful men in the world were all part of an organization created to shape the future elite. The elite of our world are all in a brotherhood, and they all participate in rituals. The initiation ritual for the Skull and Bones, to me, was very disturbing and proves these men were indeed Satanists. In 2002, a student who attended Yale University managed to sneak into the tomb of the Skull and Bones while an initiation ritual was taking place and recorded some of the initiation.
The university is 300 years old this year, and were you to visit its campus, you would see it still has exotic clubhouses, which look like tombs where Yale's legendary secret societies meet. But the rituals are still a secret. And so when we heard that some enterprising characters had managed to spy on the famous Skull and Bones Society, well, we couldn't resist.
The videotape provides a grainy glimpse into what appear to be the initiation rituals of a secret society that's been around since 1832, whose members have gone on to be leaders of Wall Street and the White House, the Senate and the Supreme Court.
They're sort of trying to scare the initiates, disorient them, frighten them.
New York Observer investigative reporter Ron Rosenbaum accompanied a team of Yale students who got these pictures 9 days ago. Rosenbaum's curiosity about Skull and Bones was permanently piqued when, as a classmate of George W. Bush, he lived right next to the tomb, the group's heavily fortified home. From their perch, Rosenbaum and his cohorts taped the tomb's courtyard. What they captured, they say, was initiates, known as neophytes, to kiss a skull, then members performing a mock kill.
During the initiation, some of the members dressed up as the devil while shrieking and making all types of demonic noises. The members were reciting, "Hangman equals death, the devil equals death, and death equals death." They even made the members that were being initiated kiss a skull, while the rest of the Skull and Bones men did mock sacrifice rituals. Part of their initiation was the rebirth ritual. Just like we talk about often on this channel, the Skull and Bonesmen make their upcoming members who are joining the order perform a rebirth ritual, as they must be reborn through Satan. Sadly, I couldn't find any footage of the initiation, only articles speaking about it. It appears the video was wiped off the internet. In my opinion, the Bonesmen are Satanists who all took the oath and sold their souls, and it's the reason they go on to be the most powerful people in our world. Something else I found interesting is that it's believed the Skull and Bones secretly started the CIA. It is known that the CIA sends scouts to find new potential members at all Ivy League schools, with the most members coming from Yale University, where the Skull and Bones organization lies. At one point, President Bush Sr., who was a Skull and Bonesman, was recruited by the CIA and even ended up becoming the director of the CIA. I don't find this coincidental. I believe the Skull and Bones had their hands in starting the CIA, and this is why so many of them end up in the CIA. While researching the order, I also found that the Skull and Bones own Deer Island and St. Lawrence River in Alexandria, New York. New members have to attend secret ritual parties that take place there every year. We already should know what kind of parties take place there on their private little island. I could only imagine that it's very similar to what we've seen in the movie Eyes Wide Shut. They even have a lodge on Deer Island so they can perform their rituals away from the public. As you can see, the Skull and Bones is an order of the elite of our world, and it is connected to the Masonic order. Our presidents and world leaders are all connected either by blood or occult brotherhoods. In my opinion, our leaders have sold their souls generations ago. They all tie back to the Knights of Templar, who were the original Freemasons. Our world is a stage, and those that we see that represent our country are just puppets. The true leader of our country is no other than Lucifer himself, who has made America his home. Our world is rigged, and if you're not a part of their orders, then you're not allowed to truly win in their country. Luckily, we as God people don't need to win in the devil's world. Well, that's it for this video. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. I just want to give a special shout out to the Truth Movement members. Thank you so much for all your support. If you would like to further support the channel, join the channel below by hitting the join button. Or you can join me on Patreon, the link would be in the description. Another way you can further support the channel is by buying a Truth Is shirt. If you would like a Truth Is shirt, email me at thetruthis211@gmail.com or DM me on Instagram at thetruthis01. Also, please leave a comment below on your thoughts on this video and on any future topics you would like to see me cover on my channel. If you like this video, please hit the like button, as this helps other people find these videos. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe and hit the bell so you can be notified of future videos. Please follow me on Instagram at thetruthis01 and on TikTok at thetruthis. I will gladly appreciate it. Thank you. Goodbye.